Welcome to RollFare, a D&D podcast. Thank you for all who've been listening so far. If you want to engage with us, please like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you do your social media. We'll make sure to engage with you. And tell us about what you like. Tell us about what you don't like about the podcast so far. We'd love to hear from you and get your insights. We'll introduce ourselves, as always. My name's Devin. I'm the Dungeon Master.
I'm Ryan. I play Alton, the Tiefling.
I'm Brad. I play Arden, the Wizard.
I'm Kayla. I play Keiji, the Tabaxi Pirate.
I'm Sheru. I'm Austin. I play Sheru.
Are you sure?
Insight check.
Who am I?
Who's the real one?
I'm Ben. I play Raina, the Human Ranger.
I'm Sarah. I play Asar, the Fire Genasi.
Wonderful. So last session, we had a lot of character development going on, trying to see what it meant to be evil and what was morally right or wrong as far as killing people who ambushed you. It was a wonderful conversation. And we're picking up after a night's rest, and the party is continuing on their journey with Tethys Za, the merchant of this caravan. And they are traveling to the Zumaji mine, where he is looking to pick up some turquoise. And so we pick up there. You guys have woken up in the morning and continue on your journey.
So, quick question about our travels. Are we all on beetles? Or is some of us walking?
So last time, some of you were riding beetles, some of you weren't.
I know I
think
was.
it was
too.
just you riding a
A
beetle.
lot of
Yeah.
these beetles, there's only one that's really equipped for people to ride on. And keep in mind, so just describing these beetles a little bit, they're big. We're talking like 10 feet tall and about 10 feet wide.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less than 10 feet tall, maybe like 8, but they're big. And so how the saddle would be draped over this thing is you've got several seats. So like you've got someone who can ride up on the top of the beetle, and then you've got seats that drape down on the side of the beetle where its wings would be folded up. And so you've got several people who can ride on this thing, so potentially 5 on one beetle.
So this is kind of a question for outside game. Did you want bigger beetles printed?
We'll cover that later.
So we do have some people walking because we have a kind of a big group.
Yeah,
right?
and some of you could ride on the beetles that are geared up for cargo.
It would be very uncomfortable, probably.
Possibly. They're not meant for riding, and so it is an option, though. So everyone could ride a beetle. Not necessarily comfortable, though. But walking, you'd be able to keep up with these things, no problem. They're not particularly fast.
Well, Arden's going to make a point to walk
Okay.
this morning.
Asar is tired, so she will take Auden's old spot on the beetle.
This is quite lovely up there.
Alton's walking again. He's also keeping an eye out for wherever the cutoff would be to head toward that dig site where he last saw Jaylin,
Okay.
in case that's where we wanted to start our search.
Sounds good. So you guys, as you're traveling down this road, typical like you've gone, the terrain becomes a little bit more duny again, less rocky like where you were ambushed, and you do notice, kind of as you guys are just kind of exiting where these rock formations would be. The area that you guys took is fairly recognizable by you to get towards where you made that camp with Jaylin for digging for these ruins.
Sorry, we're tasked with Tethys to follow him wherever he's going, or
He asked if you guys would be willing to guard his caravan on the way to the Zumaji mine. At this point, you're probably a couple of days out from that.
Okay.
Alton, when you came with Jaylin, you guys were about 3.5 days travel, about a half day travel from the road to get to where you were digging. So.
Okay, and I don't think we were just going to stick with Tethys as long as we were heading the same direction, right? Or were we going to go all the way to the mine?
You guys never actually
Yeah,
I don't think we
ever had
agreed
that
to any of
conversation
that.
with him.
Well, I know we were planning on going to the mine at some point anyway, so...
So are we going to the dig site first or the mine?
Well, I mean,
I would feel
considering the people at the... on both ends that we are probably trying to bring home safe, maybe we go the furthest south point to the mine and then take whoever with us and head back up and hit up the dig site on the way back on the return trip.
Yes, my mission is a little time sensitive, so I'd prefer we get to the mine as soon as possible.
That works for me. I don't think we'll really find anything at the dig site except maybe a little bit of evidence of what happened, but that can wait.
I want to go to
I mean,
both
I know-
places, so I'm whatever.
I know there's a high chance Vatha went towards the dig site since she was supplying Jalen, but honestly, if she hasn't survived, another few days probably isn't going to make a difference.
Not to mention, I'd feel much better as a person if we continued with the caravan guarding them.
I kind of agree.
Good idea, Sharu.
Seems like our help was much needed there.
Strength in numbers.
They helped us as well. They had a good group.
Okay.
Onward to the mine.
So you guys continue on with Tethys and his caravan. The next couple of days pass with relative ease. Nothing extravagant occurs. No bandits. Nothing strange. So go ahead.
Just at some point along there, I'm finally going to talk to Locamus.
Okay.
Just
the
strike
other-
up a conversation with him while we're on the road. So how long have you been in this caravan or working for Tethys?
So as you strike up the conversation, he just kind of looks at you and just kind of surprised that you're having a conversation, and he's like, I don't know. I like I said before, maybe like 6 seasons or so.
Does it pay well? I'm just curious because from one tiefling to another, I also worked in a caravan, and it's probably just about the worst job I've had. So I was just surprised to see that you were so attached to Tethys.
Oh, what were you paid?
2 coppers a day.
That
For
does,
just basically nothing.
yeah, that's not a lot. I get paid about I don't know, enough. A lot more than that. he pays me about $1 a day. We make pretty good money in this caravan,
Well,
and he's generous.
I think that just makes me realize how young and stupid I was at one point in my life.
Well, I mean, I don't really get to use the money for a lot. I mean, there's not really anyone that really likes me in town, so I mean, it's nice to get the money, but really I'm more here just to be on the road and be among people who are willing to treat me like somebody of worth.
Indeed. Yeah, it's good to see you've learned to defend yourself, too.
I mean,
You seem to do well in that battle we had.
I don't do a lot of fighting, but I mean, if you get attacked, you have to be able to do something. So,
Well, if your experience has been anything like mine, I think we tieflings typically grow up learning that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Where'd you grow up?
Not sure I'd really want to share that. No offense to you, but I've got a past I'd like to keep in the past so it doesn't catch up to me.
I understand.
The fewer people know about that, the better at this point.
I understand. I mean, how'd you end up on the road then? Can I ask you that?
You mean just now?
Yeah, like how'd you end up here?
Or okay, I wasn't sure if you meant back when I was working for a caravan or now, but I did work a little bit. Well, I won't say where, but when that fell through,
Wow.
I took a job for this archaeologist named Jalen, and just working as a digger, just a little bit of labor, up until just a few days ago. But we're actually heading kind of past that dig site where we were, but we were attacked, and I made my way back to the oasis, and was just starting to figure out what to do next when I met this group of oddities and variety, and just been.
Well, Canis, I think Ringo stepped into a cactus.
No, that's John.
Oh, it's John. Sorry.
As I was saying,
He looks over at you. He's like, "They're fine."
Oh, if you say so.
I don't think I've ever met a turtle or a genasi or an old wizard before, even so. It's been a little interesting to at least see if we can mutually protect each other, or at least make some coin together. But I'll have to see where we go from here.
Well, sounds fun. I wish you the best for sure, and thanks for being willing to help us. Makes a difference. So as you guys continue on your journey to the mine, as I said, it passes very, very uneventful, and you make it towards the mine itself. And as you get closer, one thing that you guys notice is that you see up ahead a large tower-like structure. Compared to what most buildings are, this is a pretty noticeable thing, and just kind of a desert sand color. And the closer you get to this mine, you notice that it's actually you see walls that come up around the area, like a walled city almost, which is really strange to you, just because most places that any of you would have seen, one, most places don't have walls, and then two, it seems a weird place in general to have a walled town or city or mine alone. So, but you do notice that these walls approach as you get closer. It is a walled area, about 10 feet high, made of mud brick. So
Does a saw recognize these walls?
no. I just
No.
just with the information that I know about you, these would definitely not be walls that you recognize.
Okay.
Backstory.
So, you guys approach the gate of this city. Rather, I shouldn't say city, of the mine. And you're halted by guards, and you see lots of people passing in and out here. As you've been coming closer to the city, you see that the traffic is extensive. Lots of beetle caravans. A lot of them are empty, beetles pulling wagons that are slave carts. So barred, these barred wagons with roofs, and they're now empty. So you see a lot of those coming back from the mine, and you see others, beetle caravans that are laden down with the precious stones that are mined here. And then coming in, you also notice that a lot of the merchandise that is on some of these beetles is on wagons that are pulling like lumber and other building materials. And so and you also notice a lot of food provisions as well on these wagons. So you guys approach the gate. You're stopped. Tethys has words with the guards, and then you're allowed to pass in.
While he's speaking with the guards, I'm kind of standing back behind the group, and I don my burlap cloak again.
Okay. Sounds good. Go ahead and just make a... what's the roll I want here?
Like a stealth? No, like a...
Bear with
Can
me.
we hide you in a tent?
Go ahead and make... for the sake of this, we'll do a... Let's do like a deception check in some ways. I know that's more usually for like lying, but
Okay.
we're gonna do this one for just seeing if you can.
Okay, I can do that. 10?
Good to know. So, is anyone else doing anything? Apologize.
Just going up.
I saw us still on top of the beetle.
Hoping
Sounds
he
good.
gets us in.
So they let you pass. The guards look at the ragtag group here, and you just see that they seem to kind of look at you in a peculiar way, but none of them advance or approach anything like
I
that.
look back at them in a peculiar way.
I wave exuberantly at them.
Sounds good. Well, they see this grumpy human.
I'm also actually I've moved to the back nearby Keiji.
Okay,
Nice.
sounds good. And so they see the turtle waving at them, and they're just like, huh. And you just see them kind of put off it a little bit, and then they see you, looking grumpy at them, and they just kind of look away and down. And then you guys enter into the city itself, or the town rather, and it's a peculiar sight. Let me actually get to the description here. Okay. So as you enter, it's definitely a town. Well populated. Probably best guess somewhere between 4,000 to 6,000 people live here. And for being a mine, for what you would probably expect, it's not like your typical mine. In fact, you don't even see anywhere where anything is harvested at this point. It's all town. And most of the buildings that you're looking at are very rundown looking. They're mud brick, in some cases just plain old shacks, made out of whatever material is available. And these simple buildings stretch on for as far as your eye can see around the area, and you can't even see the other end of the town. But very, very simple buildings. And then along the main thoroughfare, as you guys are traveling down that, you see a much nicer buildings. So, your taverns, some basic stalls. You don't really notice vendors so much. And in any vendors that you do notice, you see that they pretty much just have precious stones for sale, primarily turquoise, every now and again something else, but primarily turquoise. But no like actual shop fronts or anything like that. And up ahead, along this thoroughfare, you see that tower that you notice from the distance. And it itself is walled in, having its own wall. These walls are about 15 feet high. Tower, as best you can guess, would be about 25 feet high. And it looks to be, in some ways, reminiscent of some sort of place of importance, like a mayor's home, like a manor house of some sort, or a political centerpiece. And so that's what you notice there. You guys don't go any further. Tethys stops the caravan, and he approaches you and says, "Well, we've made it. We thank you so much for assisting us. And I don't know if you have plans for returning back to the Pumongo Oasis or even back to Kashako. That's our final destination. But if you have plans to return, we're more than happy to have you as guards. But otherwise, we can part ways here."
We've got a bit of business here on our own, as well as some things that need to be handled on the way back, so I can't imagine our paths will coincide. But it was a pleasure traveling with you.
Likewise, and thanks again for taking care of us and ensuring that we arrive safely. I will see what I can do about finding some new guards. If you change your mind, we'll be here for at least a day or two. So please find us at the inn over here, and we'll, if we haven't found other arrangements, we'll gladly take you on again. But here's your payout, and he pays you each 5 gold.
Getting so rich.
It's more gold than I started with. Oh, wait.
Just wait till you're like level 15 and you're getting like
Yeah.
15,000
Like
gold a pop.
Before we separate, I'm gonna walk over to Wilcamus one more time, and just kind of really quietly say to him, if you run across anyone looking for a tiefling from Kushako that matches my description, just tell them that he died in that bandit attack.
Okay. Duly noted.
Sheru goes up to one of the beetles, pats it on the head. You are my favorite, George.
Sounds good.
Good luck, Wilcamus.
This is what I get for not naming the Beatles.
Miss you most of all, Paul.
All right. So you guys part ways, and you've been paid. Tethys is doing his business. You see him go off and start working with the various merchants who are, offering these precious stones.
I did want to say goodbye to Shalkosh.
Okay.
Just thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the traveling companionship, and I've never asked this of anyone. Would you pray for me?
Well, certainly, Arden. I mean, I'm happy to assist. And is there anything specific that you would like me to pray for?
A conscience.
Indeed. I will add that to my meditations and to my prayers. And if you do need anything and our paths cross again, please let me know.
I'd be happy to call you friend anytime.
Likewise, and may you continue to do it and be successful at whatever it is that you do. And peace be with you.
And with you.
Thank you. And she again bows her head. What?
The ice cream truck in the background.
It's just driving by the mine. Every town has an ice cream.
Yeah, that's right. I thought that was someone's phone. I was like, ooh, didn't turn off their phone.
It's an ice cream truck. It's an ice cream beetle.
It's probably not going to show up on the recording at all, and people are going to be like, what are they talking about?
There is an ice cream truck that we can hear passing by. So if you can hear it, shout it out.
Now I'm just picturing a beetle with a bard on top of it playing a tune as it's going by.
It's exactly what happened. It's just playing ice cream truck music as you're passing by.
So, Raina kind of turns to Keiji. What do you want to do now? Kind of figure this was your ballpark.
That's a ballpark.
So,
Ice cream.
I'm not exactly sure how to find this contact. They were supposed to meet Spike, and Spike's not here. What do I remember about?
Yeah, let me pull up some information. Bear with me one moment.
While we're at it, does Sherry know anything of secret handshakes or stuff like that from his experience?
When you say secret handshakes, what do you mean?
Oh, secret codes,
He means
meeting people
with
with
the pirates.
the pirates.
Oh, I see. Go ahead and make a... Oh, what do I want you to make here? I'd say just a history check, probably.
Sure, we got 24.
So, you know that there could be some possible secret handshakes that the Sandstorm's Revenge would make with people whenever they come to land or, any port. So I would say you probably would know if someone's trying to make one to you. Excuse me. So I don't know what that is. I didn't have that prepared, but you definitely would know.
Okay.
So, what Keiji knows about this mission is that originally you were coming here to help execute plans to do what you could to liberate the city. What you know about this place is this is essentially the whole town is almost entirely slaves. And they work the mines. The mines are not connected directly to the town itself. They're further to the southeast. But you don't know exactly what how things are run here, but you do know that the vast majority of people are forced into working in the mines. And you know that the group that you were working with, the Treasures of the Sand, is trying to liberate this area as best as they can. You also know Treasures of the Sand is a secret group, so that isn't something that you would divulge per se. Part of one of their covers is that they are a traveling circus group, if you will. And so people know the name, but they don't know, it's not common knowledge that they are a liberation group.
So I know that I'm familiar with some of the performers there. Have I noticed anyone as we walked through the city that I would recognize?
Yeah, great question. So at this point, no. And to give you a little bit more detail here, what was originally happening was that the Treasures of the Sand had placed one of their people inside of the kind of a middle level manager, if you will, within the Zumaji mines infrastructure, and they were helping to negotiate or establish a plan to do what they could to liberate as many slaves as they could from this area, and thousands of people potentially in this case. So you're originally coming to help assist with that, demolition, things like that, possible explosives, and the mission changed at some point. You guys got word on your way there that their contact had been captured and enslaved, and so the mission went from being a liberation of the town to a breakout of this contact. And shortly after getting that information, your squad was ambushed.
Well, I know. I remember that as we were coming here, we were told that there was a specific contact to find, but we got word that they have been captured. I think that we need to find them before we can move forward with the mission at all. I'm guessing captured has something to do with giant building in the middle of town.
It's possible. Do you have any sort of a description of this contact?
Do I know who it was from?
You know that the first name is Tristan, but that's about all you have. You also know that they're human of Tuchawi descent.
Do we see anybody other than human? Like, do we see other races? Is it? Are we a sore thumb?
Yeah, great question. So there's plenty of races here, primarily human, mostly Tuchawi, some Yabankichi.
Gesundheit.
It's just the other human race.
I said Gesundheit.
Yes.
Whatever.
Anyway, so the Yabankichi are from the north. The Tuchawi, obviously, from this region. So mostly humans of those various kinds. And then you've got a fair amount of Tabaxi. They're a pretty common race that's enslaved in this region. And some gnomes, some halflings, some dwarves, but pretty rare to see them. They're easy enough to spot, but they're not something that not common among the group.
Would Asar pass as human?
With that fiery red hair.
So
I don't.
possibly.
Yeah, I guess.
Listen, I've
They're
got
pretty easy to spot.
Well, yeah, we've got a turtle and a tiefling and a tabaxi that's not a slave, but they don't know that.
I've got some people I can talk to in town, see if anyone can dig up information on this Tristan.
Yeah, basically the only thing that I know is that they're human, so they don't have fur and they don't have scales. That's basically the end of what I know.
Me.
That's not you.
I've met some pretty furry humans in my day.
True.
That's true. I guess that may also describe a dwarf, but that's neither here nor there.
Marcy, I see a lot of tabaxi as slaves here. I do not want you to feel uncomfortable. It might be better to have us pretend that you are our slave, but if you do not want that, I will never force you to do that.
I do have whips if...
I didn't know
we
that's
feel
what
the
you were
need.
into.
Find a chair.
No, thank you. I've been ashore more times than just now. I've done the farce before, and I can do it. It's fine.
If it makes you feel uncomfortable, we'll just, stay nearby.
We'll find some other
We'll
ways.
keep you protected.
Yeah, just stay close to us.
I think we can get this handled without too much of a ruckus, and hopefully in and out without too many casualties.
We'll kill them all.
If you need to, I can teach
Sorry,
you some.
Asar.
Are you sure you're not evil?
If you need to, I can teach you some good knots you can tie around my wrists that I can untie myself.
That is a good idea. We should all learn that.
I mean, I'm already into whips. You'd think I'd be into knots.
You do carry a lot of leather, I noticed. So.
Anyways.
I mean, leather armor is kind of just
Yes,
the
of course.
armor.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Oh,
Yes, please.
Nothing, it's fine.
In detail. I would like to write this down in my journal.
buy me a few drinks tonight, and who knows what might come out of my mouth. Have a hard enough keeping it clean when I'm
Oh
sober.
man.
Moving on. Speaking of bars,
Do we have any rope? Does anyone have rope?
Well, I mean, he
Can't really do knots without rope.
I've got
I think
plenty
I
of
do.
it.
Yeah, I have some rope in my pack.
Oh, yeah, I have rope. Sorry.
I should really take
It's like
inventory of what I
everybody
have.
has rope. That's like what you start with. So would they have just been put to work, or would he be locked up somewhere?
I'm guessing that he's enough of a liability to them. I mean, if they know that he was here to start trouble, I'm sure they want to keep him as far away from all the slaves as possible. So I don't think we'd find them among the shacks. I think that we would find them in some dungeon, prison, something.
Behind the really high wall.
Yeah, that one.
Let's have us human-looking ones ask around maybe and...
Like I said, I've got a few people I can talk to in town.
Okay.
And honestly, I would feel most safe staying by Rainer. He's saved me more than once.
That is a good call.
Anyway,
Probably keep Asar nearby as well. Travel by entourage.
Does this have to do with the knots and the leather?
Yes. It's just for your protection,
I'm
of
just
course.
Just so you know, this is going into the journal.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Title of the episode.
Knots and leather.
Knots, leather, and entourage. And whips.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that information that you have, well, what are you guys doing?
Just following Rainer's lead, I guess, if he's...
I think step one, I mean, if Rainer knows people, I think the best thing we can do is to go to the shops and the tavern and get intel.
We need info.
Yeah, I know there's a dive a little bit in the back that I've got a couple people there I can ask some questions.
Okay. So you guys start wandering through the city to this place that you know. And the interesting thing about this place is that the taverns here are not named. They're just taverns. And only the ones on the thoroughfare would actually have a name. These are the places that visitors would stay. All the other taverns, and there's quite a few taverns here. They are meant for the slave population to go and get their meals or their drink at the end of a day's work.
It's a convenient reason to not name them.
There's a lot of them. I prepared this. I was totally prepared. But this is essentially how most people get their food, and it is something that with the contacts that you've had here, this isn't a place that you go often. There's not a lot of info that you need in this place, but you do know that the tavern itself is not something that people pay for. It's just provided to the slaves. So you begin traveling that way, and we will actually pick up the session next time with where you get to at that tavern. So thanks for listening. We appreciate it, and give us a like on Facebook, Instagram, and whatever other social media you have.
You have been listening to RollFare, a D&D podcast. Produced, recorded, and mixed by SF Shields. Executive produced by the RollFare team. Copyright 2021 by RollFare LLC. All rights reserved. Visit us online at rollfare.com.